Hello ladies and gents, and welcome to Blitz with Shell. I recently unlocked and maxed out the Conqueror, so I figure we could talk about it briefly in the garage, just give some overall impressions, and then go into some gameplay with live commentary over the top of it. So I'll make sure to put down in the description where the live play starts, so then that way if you already know what this tank is about, you can just skip to the gameplay. But pretty much, I'm going to just do a brief overview of the tank. Pretty much my impressions of it, its strengths are definitely its gun. The DPM is really good, especially if you do everything you can to maximize it. So, gun rammer, vents, tea and pudding, max crew, those sorts of things. You can get up to around 2500 damage if you're doing everything you can to make sure that you're putting out the most that you can. So that's pretty impressive for tier 9. It's pretty much a tier 10 gun. So you can do a lot of damage. As far as other strengths, gun depression, so you can definitely get hull down with this. I think it's got 7 degrees of gun depression, so not the best in the game or anything, but good enough to be able to angle this upper plate and get a lot of good bounces. As far as other strengths, I would say that the mobility, it's neither here nor there. You get a top speed of 34 kilometers per hour. It's no IS-8, but I feel like it does move much better than, say, the E-75, for example. It's definitely not a slow German tank by any means. Some of the weaknesses of this tank, the biggest one in my opinion is the armor. The chassis, you get a tier 8 chassis, you get the Conqueror chassis, millimeter for millimeter. So, you know, while in tier 8 it's pretty good, that lower plate right there, big, flat, not angled amazingly well. You can pen that thing pretty easily. The upper plate, it's pretty good, especially if you angle it, you'll get some good bounces. But as far as the sides, rear, this upper part of the turret, and then the cheeks of the turret, the upgraded turret, you'll find that you'll get a lot of penetrations that you weren't anticipating. This tank is by no means a T-30 that you can just go hull down, then you're invincible and just slaughter your opponents. And something where you want to go hull down, but you want to be ducking around, moving, rotating the turret, making yourself a difficult target. I find that this tank, it's a great support heavy, and that's actually what it was designed for by the British Army. And so basically what you want to do here with this tank is it's great if you can have the main force taking most of the fire and you kind of sneak in from the side, get hull down, and just start chipping away at the sides and rear of the tanks. I mean, you can take them directly from the front too, but I find that the second you get more than 1 or 2 tanks concentrating fire on you, you are toast. One thing you do not want to do, however, is go alone in this tank. You will get ripped apart the second you're spotted. I find that if you play this tank, if you like mediums but you're edging into heavies, this is a great starter tank or a tank to aspire to. If you find that you're usually like playing mediums, but at the same time you're maybe edging into heavy territory just to unlock some different tanks, I think this is a great tank to play because you'll be used to not having a whole lot of armor, but you definitely will appreciate the added firepower. But pretty much that's all I can think of. As far as the loadout goes, my equipment, again, gun rammer and vents, which is pretty standard for a lot of people's loadouts. You can do vertical stabilizer or enhanced gun lane drive. Another great option would be anything to help reduce engine fires, ammo racks. Repairs is a decent one. I think that this is the kind of tank, though, that, in my opinion, you just try not to get hit at all. If you can help it, you just keep your chassis as protected as possible, or you wait till other tanks are shooting, or the enemy's shooting at other tanks, and you use that distraction as an opportunity to get some free hits out on the enemy. As far as this goes, you can see the stats for penetration values and everything. APCR, you're easily in the 300s, in the mid-level, like 350, 325 of penetration with APCR. You can get up to 407. I find that the penetration of this particular tank and the top gun is amazing. I usually rarely use APCR unless you're really facing some tier 10 heavies, which isn't, that's pretty common actually in this tank. But you can face them from the front, it's just a matter of not getting shot yourself. Hesh, I don't use a whole lot personally, but I keep a few on hand in case, you have a medium that's not paying attention, has its butt to you, and just can wreck it. You can do up to 644 alpha on them. As far as consumables, usually I do putting in tea. If money's no object, it's not a bad idea. You get, again, 10% to crew mastery. I usually use a repair kit, just in case you get tracked or your engine gets shot, or, just those basic things. And then adrenaline to up the DPM a little bit. Fire extinguisher is a good idea, so I'm riding a little bit dirty without one. Camouflage, I mean, this is more just for the aesthetics. Those are just the ones I chose. But anyways, let's kind of move into some gameplay and quit hanging out here in the garage. So I find that the map you find yourself in and matchmaking can make a huge difference. I find that this tank really struggles if it's, and at least when I'm playing it, as a top tier tank in the soul heavy of the team. Whereas it does a great job, I think, when you're in the lower tier, because you do have a tier 10 gun. So I really like this this matchup. Mediums you can wreck because of the penetration. We don't have a whole lot of very heavily armored tier 10s. So this is looking pretty good. We know they're probably going to flank. So it's just a matter of what the team wants to do. And so I know they all want to go right, but pretty much what I'm going to do is trying to find a good support position in case they decide to go this way, being able to maybe dip down under that ridge, and then also just being able to shoot over here as well. So let's take a peek. I have a feeling we're going to struggle to get some good shots in the early game, and so I think what I'm going to do actually is change my tune a little bit and help the object out. Just communicating to my team who I'm aiming at. And this is going to be, I think, a tough match because everybody flanked. I thought it was going to be easy. So you can see the gun depression. Not bad. Room for improvement, though. Can use adrenaline. Now that the object sees me, he's going to start hiding. And I don't think we're going to be able to be of much use. He's probably going to get a shot off on us. So I'm gonna go ahead and wait for them to come after him. And you can see we're gonna get eaten alive. This is probably the worst case scenario for this tank to get stuck in. There's just multiple angles, everyone just chewing away at you. But what I'm going to do is at least try to spot a little bit. Maybe get my chassis angled the right way. So you can see you get some bounces, some lucky ones. If you're, again, lucky bounces. Okay, so not bad so far, all things considered, I guess. So he's going to go for the ram. I'm not a fan of. This tank's actually pretty heavy, I think. I don't know which would win in a ram fest. But anyways, we are toast here, so that's just a general idea of what you can do. This is sort of a tough circumstance in that typically in that particular scenario I'd want everyone to be going hill, and then you can find a nice little spot that's kind of off of the main drag between the main firing lines. And kind of peek out and chip away damage, while the E100 and other more heavily armored vehicles take the brunt of the damage. I find that this tank too really shines in the second wave of battle, when your main heavies start getting really low on health, and then when they eventually die, when you come in as the second string, that tank really shines because of the DPM. It's basically a tier 10 tank masquerading as a tier 9. In every single way except the armor. And so I'm just taking a nice little watch of this. After this game we'll play one more. I'll just kind of wait for our team to hopefully win. So I mean, the strategy seemed to work alright. I feel like we could have done things differently. But anyways, let's see. So we got the classic chat spamming. So yeah, and again, as far as the Conqueror is concerned, you kind of got an idea for... It will bounce a few shots, but not a lot of them. Mainly from the front, you're doing pretty good. But don't rely too heavily on it. Ooh, that was bad. And so he's gone. So this is going to be a close match. E50M's got the armor advantage, but the T62 is a beast and a DPM machine. It's a DPM factory. And so... Nice. So, anyways, I find that if you're thinking of the Conqueror too is very mobile, kind of comparing it to the IS-8 again, you will find that it cannot flank in the same way that an IS-8 can, not in a pinch quite as well. You really should just go with the main routes that a lot of the heavies go, but just kind of come in from the side, don't go in through the main, very, very exposed little, I guess you can say, peaking points. Try to get creative with where you pop up, maybe take a few shots from one area, and then definitely move over to the next spot. You can treat it sort of like a medium in that regard. So that E50M did an amazing job. Good for him, Bradley Walters, there you go. Let's play one more match. Let's hopefully get a more conventional game. Maybe we'll get a good slaughter. But you can see you can do a lot of damage. It didn't feel like... I felt like we got a few shots off before we died, but we weren't exactly using the tank to the full potential, and we still did over 2 grand in damage. So, you know, there is that. You can still, on your deathbed, leave an impact and make a pretty decent dent in the team. Okay, so we got the Tortoise, so I kind of want to stay close to him, or at least go through the main city lines that you typically find. So in this map, going in with the Conqueror, going in through that middle road and kind of going through that central plaza is a little bit risky, but you can be doing pretty well if everyone's coming in through the main drag here. You are opening yourself up to enemy fire on your pretty weak sides, but that's the risky option that you could do. And so it looks like, yep, everyone's coming in here, and so I don't want to peek out too much in the exact same spot. I don't want to peek out too much either. And so you see our tracks ate a few shots, which is pretty dang good. All things considered, knowing that. So I'm kind of just shooting with impunity. I'm not really doing a great job of selecting one target, which is like tanking 101, but I'm just going to take the distracted targets when I can. And that IS-6, wait for him to turn his turret. And you can see the pen's pretty good. That T-30 was angled, a little bit over-angled, but not too bad. But we still were able to easily penetrate him. I mean, then again, it is the T-30, so we know the side armor isn't fantastic on those. But those tracks, they do eat a few shots, so I'm just going to wait for him to overextend a little bit and maybe give him a killing blow. And if the E75 isn't able to do it first. So I'm kind of torn which way to look. See if we can do a surgical shot. And I'm sick of waiting, we're just gonna move up. See if we can't. Here, this is a little bit aggressive, giving him my side. He's pretty distracted, so I probably didn't need to use APCR, but I just, with an STI, you never know. They can turn just a little bit, and everything's bouncing. So that IS-8, I have a feeling is going to give us problems on his deathbed. So we're getting coached by a dead guy. He may be correct. I think they were talking about the IS-8. So anyways, I think we're gonna get shot from the side there. And we lost. Maybe. Ooh, let's hope this... I'm hoping we get an awesome surprise victory here. Wouldn't that be something to show? So which way are they gonna come from? I'm waiting for... I'm expecting an ambush. So getting the hell out of there. Alright, so let's see what comes of this. Oh no, he's gonna get us. He's gonna get a great shot on us. Nice. Alright, so that kind of shows you what this thing can do. You can pull out ahead in a pinch just because of the DPM of this gun. I would say that my positioning was not amazing in this game. I exposed my side a lot. Got lucky. But anyways, yeah, so that's what this tank's capable of. If you're the kind of person that likes mobility in your heavies, likes the DPM, but is also, you're pretty versed in being able to hide your lower plate, hide your chassis. If you've played a lot of peekaboo type games with mediums, oh, great mastery badge. So this actually turned out to be an amazing. It's a much better game than it felt. So you can be surprised with how much damage you're doing and not really feel like you're doing that good. So we kind of pulled ahead in the end there. But anyways, let's see what this guy has to say. I agree. I agree with this guy. So anyways, yeah. That's what this tank can do. Thanks for watching. Please feel free to like, comment below. Let me know what you want to see in the next video. Take care, guys. Take it easy.